So good afternoon. My name again is Faith Haygood. I have a platform name called Faith Speaks because I went to school for radio broadcasting and I had a radio show called Faith Speaks. So my friends gave me that name one day. I was at a dinner party for my birthday and it was like, Faith, you should really do something around that. I'm like, huh. I thought this was going to be a collaborative, effort in us doing like this little round table with women talking about different subjects from, different backgrounds and different topics. And so they kind of made me the host. And like, you should call it Faith Speaks. And that name kind of stuck with me. So since 2017, I've been using that as I go around different places and use them for my radio show. So a little bit about myself. I have 3 children, just like you. I have 3 children, 2 girls and 1 boy, 19, 15, and my son is 9 years old. So we are parents, we are women, we are African American, and we have a lot in common. My story isn't all, it sounds glamorous. It sounds glamorous. I got my GED in 2010, and then I went on to Kennedy King College, got my associates, and then last year I graduated from Chicago State University with my bachelor's. But prior to that, imagine you trying to raise your children. And I'm not excluding you, sir. How you doing back there, sir? Good. Imagine you're raising your children and you have all these obstacles in front of you. Not having your high school diploma, not being able to get adequate work. When I first had my daughter, I was in, what was I doing? I was a waitress. I worked at a cleaners. Then I worked for CPS as a lunchroom lady. What else did I do? I worked at the movie theaters. I did a lot of different odd jobs. But what was holding me back was my education. Because nowadays, they're like, hey, you have to get a GED. You have to have a high school diploma. You have to be going to school doing something. So I knew in order for me to keep my kids in daycare at the time that I had to go to school. And so my story, hello, how you doing? My story is I got kicked out of high school in my junior year. Now, I thought I was going to be, prom queen. I was popular. I thought that I was going to graduate. That was my goal, to graduate for high school. But that didn't happen for me. It didn't. I was cutting classes, going to Ford City, and just hanging out, thinking I was okay. And I only went to the fun classes. I went to gym. I went to music. I went to what I thought was fun, where my friends was at. But that science and math, I was like, forget that. I ain't doing all that. And so because of that, I got kicked out of school in my junior year. I didn't stop. I registered when Kennedy King College was on 63rd. They had a GED program. And I got tripped up with that, and that wasn't good as well. Because you cutting and you hanging out and you smoking, I said, Faith, you got to get your mind right. So it took me years to take the GED test because I passed everything else, but I kept failing the math portion. And I don't know about you all, but I don't like no math. I could count some money, but math was a real struggle for me. And I found it difficult because I didn't want to learn it, Sometimes our children, they come home with these math problems. My son in 3rd grade, I'd be like, what? Because they teaching it, exactly. So, because they teaching a different way and a different method from when we were in school. And so going back to that time, I said, you know what? I'm gonna get my GED. And I did so by quitting a job. And my mother thought I was crazy. She said, you quitting that job? And I'm like, yeah, because I need to focus. See, sometimes your mental health is important, and we're here tonight because we're talking about health and wellness. We're talking about how to take care of ourselves and how to bounce back during difficult times. And so those were difficult times for me. Having 2 children at the time, going all the way to Alsop, Illinois, trying to work, knowing I wanted to better myself. I wanted to get an education. I wanted to set goals for myself that I knew that I could accomplish. So moving forward, I'm not going to bore you with no long drawn out story, but I just want to share with you how important it is to bounce back, because that's what I'm talking about, bounce back. You might ask, what is bouncing back? What does that mean? It is the ability to regain control during a difficult situation. Now, I made up that. I made up that terminology because for me, that's how I viewed it. Once you fall down, you got to get back up. You can't continue to lay there. You can't stay there. You can't stay in that predicament that you're in. You have to get back up and bounce back.
We are going to ask that the teachers that will be supporting with our data night, please make your way downstairs to the main foyer. We have the NWA score reports for you to distribute when speaking with parents. We also will have a guest speaker in the main auditorium, and we will have some math resources for parents in room 105. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Principal. So, moving forward, 2010 was a turning point in my life. I got involved with this program called AmeriCorps, where they train parents on how to write a resume and how to do an interview and how to, learn computer skills. And I went through that program for an entire year, as well as tutored to get my GED. So I got hired, and it was like a two-part kind of thing. Long story of the short, at the end of the program, I failed the GED test once again by 2 points. I'm like, y'all could have gave me that, Jesus Christ. But anyway, after that program was over, I had someone to speak into my life, Miss Shelley Maxwell. She said, you have a great speaking voice, and you should go to school for radio broadcasting. And I thought about it. I was like, okay, that sounds good. I do like radio. I do like entertainment. I love television. I love all the aspects of media. But I never really considered it. And so I went to Kennedy King College. They had a GED program. I went through the GED program, and I was able to take classes at the same time in order to one day graduate. It wasn't before long. I did take the test. And guess what, guys? I passed! I passed! Oh my God. OMG. It was the happiest day of my life. I'll never forget it. I was in Walmart on the phone with my friend. I told her to hold on. Clicked over. They said, Miss Haygood, this is Kennedy King College, and we want to know, can you come get fitted for your graduation cap and gown? I mean, wow. Okay? So in between that time, I went through a lot of shame. A lot of shame, because I felt, how could I allow this to happen to me? Not graduating, not going on prom, not walking across the stage with my class. How could I allow this to happen to me? Now I have 2 children, and guess what, y'all? One was on the way. At that point, before I found out that I passed, I felt defeated. I felt a dark cloud over my head, to the point where I didn't want anybody to ask me, where your prom picture at? Or where's your high school diploma? Because I kept that in the back of my head. And through that process, I learned how to bounce back. I kept going. I kept motivating myself. I kept myself around people who can encourage me. How many of y'all have mentors here? You have a mentor. You're never too old to have a mentor. A mentor is somebody that can speak into your life, that you can, not necessarily, you can tell your problems to, but take their advice and the things that they give you and begin to apply them to your life. And sometimes it's difficult because you're looking at a person, you're like, you already made it. You're already successful. You're in the career in which you went to school for. Or you're an entrepreneur. You opened up a small business. How can I do the same thing that you did? The thing about it is to take the principles that they have given you and apply them to your life and make them work for you. Only you know you best. So bouncing back. I believe in that situation, I bounced back. I did it through prayer. If you believe in God, whatever your faith is, I did it through prayer. I did it through a community of women who I trusted with my vision, with my ideas, with my fears. And we encourage one another because we're all parents. How else? Oh, I went out for a couple tacos, a couple tea. You know, there are many things that you can do to regain your sanity. Most people choose to substitute their happiness by using drugs or using alcohol to compensate for the things that they're going through. And those things, they're fun while you're doing it, but they're only temporal. They only last, an hour or two, and then your hat come down, you done sobered up, and now you're still faced with difficulties that you had in the first place. So my solution to bouncing back is to, one, be still. Sometimes you don't need to talk to anyone. You just need to get in one place and gather your thoughts and begin to process what is ahead of you, and then begin to write them down. Sometimes when I'm adding up my bills and my debt, I don't want to see them. I just want to take all that mail, boom, and put it to the side. How many of y'all are like that? You don't want to see them bills come through. You're going to pay that cell phone bill, and that's it. But other bills, you put it to the side. So sometimes you really have to sit down and be still and face what's in front of you. Begin to write out all of your debt, who you owe, what you want to pay off. And this is not a money management class, but this is all about your health and your wellness. Because if your home life is in a disarray, your children are affected. When they come in with their homework, Mama, can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? Then you like, but no, leave me alone. You know, whatever you're saying to them, you shooing them out the way. So mommy needs to take, and dad needs to take time to sit down and focus on whatever problem or situation is going on. I want to introduce myself. My name is Faith Haygood, and I'm a radio personality, self-published author. I have 3 children, 19, 15, and 9. I love them to life. So I'm a parent. I'm African American, and I am here to empower you on how to bounce back from difficult situations. And I came up with this term again when I wrote this book back in 2017. Well, I wrote the book years ago, but I just published it in 2017. And I talk about, the book is called Will You Be Made Whole? A Journey from Brokenness to Freedom. So in this book, I talk about my life and how I was in church. I was a Christian. I was going to church, hallelujah, shouting, but yet I had a problem with fornication, sex outside of marriage. And I loved God. I knew he would forgive me, but I wanted me a man, okay, at the end of the day. So, she laughing at me, but it's true, it's true. That was the thing that kept setting me back, because I desired marriage, I wanted to be loved, but I kept falling, as they say in the church. You keep falling, keep going back, and so it was hindering me from moving forward, and that added to my dysfunction. So I wrote this book in 2017, and it's available today. I'll give you a special price if you buy it today. And then, all in between that, I say God kept me. Although I didn't have a GED, I had the ability to do hair. I took a test called Ability to Benefit, and that was a basic test, cosmetology test that said, hey, if you can answer these questions, that means you can read, so therefore you can take this course. And that's what I did. So nobody ever said anything to me about where's your GED or your high school diploma when I took this test. They didn't say anything. They just let me take the test. And I was like, okay, God, you know. I took that test and I passed the cosmetology test, and it's always been in my heart to help people. That's my goal in life. Is to help people, encourage them, inspire them. And so I wrote this book, How to maintain healthy hair at home. You know when you go to the salon and stylist done did your hair, you think you cute, you track over here, you got waves down there, and you like, what I do now? Well, this book is just a basic tool on how to maintain healthy hair at home. And I wrote this book when I was in cosmetology school. And I'm telling you, the things that I did prior to these books being published, I took some regular copying paper. I drew a picture of a woman on there with her face and hair, and I wrote the title on there. And I stapled together, and I wrote everything, majority of everything I have in there, it was on that paper. And I would give it out to my friends and family, and I would make copies and put them on bus because I wanted everybody to learn how to maintain healthy hair at home. And little did I know years later that I would self-publish my own book. How did that happen? I took control over my dreams and my desires. And God placed me around people that can help with that. And so sometimes it might be difficult to ask for help. But everybody needs help. Everybody. I don't care who you are, what status you are, what college education you have. Everybody needs help. And so sometimes in bouncing back, we have to put our pride aside and ask for help. Right? I did both of these books like under $200. And if you want to write a book, I can tell you how to do that on today. Okay? So, how to bounce back. How to bounce back. Well, my question to you is, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go in life? What dream do you have that you want to pursue and conquer? And then think about what's hindering you. What's stopping you from actually doing it? Is it money? Majority of it is money. But is it money? Is it your living situation? Is it the people that you're around? Is it the lack of resources? When you think about all of these things that could potentially be hindering you, it's time to start doing something about them. And the first thing to do is ask for help. I had this book, this first book, and I had it sitting in the closet. It was on one of my computers. Then my computer crashed and had to redo it all over again. And because it was in my heart, I remember what I wrote. But a friend of mine just asked, she said, Faith, what are you doing with your manuscript? I said, I just need some editing. She said, my sister can do that. I was like, really? And immediately the ball started rolling. Within 3 weeks, that book was on Amazon. Because I did something about the situation. But if I never had spoke up about it, or my friend never prompted a question, it would still be dormant. It'll still be a dream. It will still be something inside of me that, oh, I wish I could write a book. I wish I can go here. I wish I can do that. And literally, guys, from this book and these books, I've how I got here today. I spoke at a parent conference from the same GED program that I graduated from. Kennedy King College had a graduation, and the program that I was in for a year, remember I mentioned AmeriCorps? They had a program, and they found out that I passed the GED, and I had 2 graduations in 1 year. You're talking about double happy, right? I mean, that was, I'm sure you guys have some stories too. And guess what? I'm going to let you share them. If anybody has anything that they desire to say, and I was supposed to have an hour. Okay, I got 15 minutes left. If anybody has any questions they want to ask me on how to bounce back, how to get themselves in a position to fulfill their dream, if I can help, I'll do that on today. Did I see your hand? I thought I saw your hand. Oh, okay.
What would you want to hear about? What you really want to say?
I want to hear about what do you desire to do, or what are you doing in your life? What do you need help with? Everything? And that's okay. That's okay. Because guess what? Once you take the time, as I stated earlier, to sit down and write out what the problem is, and then you're going to counteract that with a solution. You know, I was on the train today because I had to take care of some business downtown. And as I mentioned earlier, people find different ways to cope with what they have going on. So this girl was on a CTA train. And you could tell she just came from court because she was hollering, cussing, and fussing about a traffic ticket, 7 traffic tickets that she got. And one thing that she said was, I can't wait to get to 79th and get me some paraphernalia, if you know what I mean. We got children in the room. And I thought about that. Once she get the chronic, her situation is still going to be the same. That's only a temporary fix. What she really needs to do is take this situation and find out how she can change it by either going back to court, getting a lawyer, or really focusing on the solution. We have to focus on the solution. That's how we can maintain our health and our wellness. Because we have problems every day. My daughter yesterday, 19 years old, ate my pizza. It was a personalized pizza. That was 2 pieces in the refrigerator, right? You said that's simple, Faith. No, it was the principle. It was mine, okay? She ate my pizza. Now, I fussed a little bit, but how can I bounce back from that? Somebody answer that. How can I bounce back? True, but that's going to make me more mad because I did that. Give me another pizza? Exactly. That's the solution. Find something else to eat, Faith. She done ate it now. She saved me 2 little small slices. Ooh, I was heated. But something just that simple could, exactly.
The most simple things can really trigger you off.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you have to let go. But sometimes it becomes hard. So the best thing you can do is just walk away and pray about it in silence, and then see what else you can do about it.
Yes.
It's hard.
Yes.
It is hard.
It is. So I'm not saying bouncing back is going to be easy. Right now, currently, today, I am facing a very serious situation that could alter my children's and my future. And I'm here, and I'm smiling. Thank you so much, Crystal, for inviting me. Thank you so much. But guess what? I'm not going to let my situation stop me. I can't. Because why? I'm here to help you all. I'm here to help myself, and as I am talking, I am growing, and I'm healing. And I'm coming up with ways to solve my problem by using the resources. You know, one of the biggest resources that we have in the world today to find out information? Yep. Internet, Google, networking. Whatever you want to know, whatever you want to do, it is on the internet. And if Google can't tell you, somebody else can. So, any questions? Any questions? I don't want to bore you with my life. I'm definitely here to answer any questions you might have. Anybody in school? You in school, Crystal? What you going to school for? Woo! Go Cougars! I thought I wouldn't be that person, but you know, when you get done, baby, you be glad. Congratulations to you. You seem like you a hairstylist. You in fashion? Uh-huh. Okay. That's it. Wow. And she don't even look 53. Give it up for the lady that don't. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I know even in your field of professionalism, you have a lot of difficulty dealing with students and staff and parents. So every day you have to get your mind right in a sense. You have to say, you know what, I'm coming in because I love these children. I'm coming in here to help someone to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an entrepreneur, or a small business owner. Whatever they desire to be, I'm here for them. And we appreciate you. We appreciate you. Parents, teachers, and students, we all need to work together. How can I help mommy bounce back? Clean the room, put the dishes in the sink, help with the baby, yep. Little small things. Everybody has a part in bouncing back. Everybody can do something and bounce back. So this is just not for the adults, this is for the children too. I delegate roles to my 9-year-old. Sweep the floor, fold these towels. That's one less thing I have to do. So I can focus on cooking. Or writing out them bills. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to me on today. If you'd like to purchase a book, they're going for $10 each. You can Cash App or use cash. I really appreciate you all. And thank you again, Urban Gresham and Oglesby School, for allowing me to be here today. Thank you.